my name is Grace Winningham. Today I'm going to talk about hope. The definition of hope is the feeling that what is wanted can be had, or that events will turn out for the best. It can be for little things or big things. Have you ever hoped to get a good grade on a test? Hoped to see Santa Claus on Christmas? Hoped for someone you love or yourself to get better from a terrible illness? Or mainly just hope for the better? Well, I have too. I have seen others do the same. My grandfather was one of those people hoping for everything to get better, always finding the good in life when it felt like there was nothing left. He always had a jolly, loving attitude. At times, he could be stubborn, but that was usually just his sense of humor talking, or his determination to teach everyone else to have hope, for everyone to know he was okay. He was always trying to say, "Nothing's wrong with me, you don't have to worry." There's a specific memory I want to talk about. My grandfather, I called him Papa, had just lost his leg and was learning to maneuver with the one leg he had left. The doctors said that he was too old and too weak to get an artificial one. Even though I was younger, I knew Papa was strong enough to get through it, but it was a very hard time for him and the rest of my family. After he lost his leg and was later released from the physical rehab center, I came to visit him. One of the things I knew about Papa was that he loved children. I still remember him sitting in his big, comfy maroon chair as he watched me play with my new Mariposa Barbie doll, which I had just gotten from the Target in Texas. It had huge wings, and I dressed it up all in white. Bob said, "What do you got there, little girl?" as he pointed to the doll. "My new dolly. Aunt Susan and Mom got it for me at the Target," I said, lifting it up, smiling. "Bring it here," he said in his gruff Texan accent. I went up to him, sat next to his chair, like I used to when he would tell me stories. I put the doll in his hand, and he looked it over. I showed him what it did with its wings. Finally, after some silence, he spoke up in a childish voice, "I want one." My mom and aunt couldn't believe what they had just heard, and I have to admit, now that I understand the moment, what kind of 84-year-old man wants a Barbie doll? But sure enough, he did. Aunt Susan and my mom went back to Target and got another Mariposa Barbie doll and brought it back. I fixed it up in another white dress and gave it to him. He looked at it, then leaned towards me like a toddler about to tell a secret and whispered, "This is my angel doll. It's you. I'm going to hang it in that window and it'll watch over me, just like you always will." Once again, I smiled at him. I took the doll, hung it in the window, right above the table, on the blinds, a couple feet away from his chair, and never moved from that place until the day he died. I wish then I had known what he meant by the doll and me being his guardian angels, though now I know this was one of his happy moments that kept him hoping for the better. In fact, the doll and I were both symbols of hope to him. In the passage that has just been read to us, the woman went to the tomb to look for Jesus, but when they arrived there, they could not find him. Instead, they found two angels who spoke to them. They listened to the angels' words and then ran back to the 11 disciples and the other people. Jesus' disciples didn't believe the woman because most of them had lost hope. They saw Jesus die. The disciples didn't believe that he could actually be alive because they had forgotten the words he said in Galilee. But Peter believed. Peter had hope. He ran back to the tomb. When he got there, he saw all the strips of linen on the floor. And when he saw Jesus wasn't there, this filled him with even greater hope. The woman also had been given hope when they listened to the angels. Since Jesus was not in the tomb and his linens were on the ground, they thought that Jesus could still be alive. They had hope and realized that everything Jesus had told them was true. This hope gave them a chance to believe again. The best feeling that you can have is hope. If the angels hadn't been there when the woman arrived in the tomb and repeated what Jesus had said, the world would have been much different. What Jesus said in Galilee was, "The Son of Man must be delivered over to the hands of sinners, be crucified, and 3 days later rise to life." The woman, the disciples, and the people had forgotten these words. That's why they lost hope. But the truth was, there was always hope. They just needed to find it, like Peter finding the linens in the cave. Hope is in every single one of us. Sometimes we just don't realize it's there. My grandfather realized how important hope was, and that's how we knew that he should always enjoy the happy moments, just so we could get through the day. At first, the followers lost hope. They didn't know what to do. They were all devastated because they thought that what they believed in was gone. Little did they know what they believed in was still there, and it was always going to be there. Hope is just one small feeling, but it can and will overcome huge catastrophes, just like hope did for Peter. The resurrection of Jesus symbolizes this feeling. I'm going to end this talk with a quote, one that I hold close to my heart, though I can never remember word for word, but I know the general idea. Hope. Sometimes that's all you have left when you have nothing else, though if you have it, you have everything. Thank you.